Zurvanism is an ancient fatalistic religious movement of Zoroastrianism in which the primordial creator deity Zurvan was portrayed as an androgynous transcendental being. After 1,000 years of utter loneliness, Zurvan realized the time had come for a change and engendered two equal but opposite twins, Ormuzd and Ahriman. Zurvan resolved to grant the firstborn sovereignty over creation. The overbearing brother Ahriman preempted Ormuzd by ripping open the womb to emerge first. To keep him in check, Zurvan limited Ahriman's kinship to a period of 9,000 years, after which Ormuzd would be allowed to rule for all eternity and Ahriman would be exiled into the dark recesses of the universe. Zurvan became known as Shuaokar in western Tibet, where Zurvanism merged with Himalayan shamanism and took on the name of Bunchos, or Bun religion. According to Central Asian legends, the enlightened philosopher Zarathustra, who was called Muratahan in western Tibet and Sharabmiwo in eastern Tibet, was born in 1917 BCE in Olmolongring, that is today's Tajikistan. He had 3 wives, 3 sons, and 3 daughters. He wrote several sacred texts emphasizing free will and moral responsibility, which were scattered and buried in several different locations, and finally retrieved and translated into modern Persian and Tibetan. Zoroastrianism and Zervanism spread from Tajikistan to the city of Abarku in Iran, where Zarathustra is said to have planted a sacred cypress tree. Bunchos, on the other hand, soon reached Kionglong, the capital of Zhangzhou, a kingdom later renamed Guge, that is today's western Tibet. This region is best known for Mount Kailash and the sources of 5 great rivers, namely the Indus, Sutlej, Ganges, Karnali, and Yarlun Tsampo, also known as Brahmaputra. In ancient Tibetan mythology, the clockwise swastika represents the yin principle and the Tibetan Himalayas. Conversely, the counterclockwise swastika represents the yang principle and the southern Himalayan range, located in Nepal, Bhutan, and northern India, which are regarded as the homeland of Buddhism. Therefore, Bunchos came to be symbolized by the clockwise swastika. In the Tibetan language, swastikas are called yungdrong, which is synonymous and cognate with the Chinese term yongsheng, meaning eternal life. The name Bun is an ancient Tibetan word meaning utterance or revelation, related to the Chinese word Ben, meaning root, origin, or essence. Bun philosophy originally centered around the concept of sound as being the generative principle of the universe, comparable to the Greek term logos. In the Bun creation myth, before the universe came into existence, there was only the pure potentiality of an endless void. The 5 elements of earth, air, fire, water, and space arose in a vast cosmic egg, from which emerged the androgynous deity Shuaokar, who in turn created the evil spirit Nyalwanakpo and the good spirit Osurdan. Bunchos shares with Taoism the belief in opposite energies giving rise to reality, and with Shinto the belief in supernatural entities inhabiting all things. The most peculiar Bun practices are alchemical medicine, the veneration of spirits, and the exorcism of demonic forces. When it first spread to central Tibet in the 8th century, Bunchaws clashed with Buddhism. However, in the following centuries, Tibetan Buddhism and the Bun religion equally influenced each other to the point of becoming nearly syncretized with each other. One of the most interesting and puzzling characters in early Bun history was Nyachin Lishu. Born in the 8th century in western Tibet, she was abandoned in a grove by her mother, but luckily found by the king and queen of Jiangzhou and educated by court tutors and magicians. As a young woman, she wrote 2 important esoteric texts on metaphysics and the philosophy of cosmology. She perfected her ability to shapeshift and even decided to perform a ritual to change gender role and live the rest of her life as a man. Nyachin eventually married a woman named Josa Bunmo and traveled extensively throughout Tajikistan, studying and translating ancient scriptures. Nyachin was consequently nicknamed Taring or Daring, which means the Tajik traveler. Nyachin Lishu Daring also explored the mountains of southern Tibet and eventually settled between Samye and Lhasa, acting as a preceptor at the royal court of the Tibetan Emperor Trisong Detsen.